All right, baby, and we're live with another N85 podcast. The first podcast with my new co-host, Miss Destiny Juarez. How's it going?
It's going good. This week has been all over the place, to be honest.
It has, but we got fucking lit last night, actually. It was a typical Moondogs night, and we had a fucking blast, but some shit, like always, fucking happened, right? So, I don't even know where you want to start with this, but I guess we could start it with this. We noticed, I guess, halfway last night or early this morning where it was like we were like, damn, we knew a bunch of people there, bro. All of Gwinnett was there. The whole Knoth was at
But
Moondogs
even
and
if
shit.
it wasn't like someone we directly knew, it was like a friend of a friend. And
Right?
you don't want to be like that mean person that's like, I'm not gonna say hi.
Yeah, so the main thing that we were like, bro, we had like a kind of like a
slow start.
no, I was gonna say like a not like a problem, but like a situation where we were like, okay, y'all ever have that time where y'all faintly, vaguely know somebody? So yeah, like you said, a friend of a friend, or someone that you maybe dapped up once, or someone that like is sometimes like there where you
Either that or you have like a great conversation one night.
yeah,
But you were really
like really drunk. Yes, bro. And then you see each other again, like at some other point, and you're like, fuck, like, am I now obligated to say what's up to them? Like,
I hope I remember their name.
Oh, you have that problem more than me, actually.
I try not to make it too big of a problem, but if it's like a really like kind of like we did have that great conversation that one night, we dabbed each other up. You gave me your Instagram, but your name's not on your Instagram. I don't know whether to come up and say like, "Oh, what's up? How's it going?" And then I get really nervous, and then they're like, "I just hope I don't look mean."
That's what I'm saying, bro. A lot of times, so I've always had this problem, bro. And I remember this one time, actually, specifically, where I saw somebody at the grocery store, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I know them, and I see them from a mile away, but I'm like, bro, I can't with this anxiety right now. I was like, I don't know, because the thing is, I'm always scared that I'm gonna say what's up to them. I'm like, oh, hey, how you doing? And then be like, oh. Like, just be so dry to me, like,
yeah.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Or, like, the rejection, like, who are you? And
yeah,
I'm like, no.
Bro, if you get who are you, bro, that's over with, bro. You're just done, bro. Don't speak to nobody ever again.
They're
and shit
too
like that.
real for that.
That's what I'm saying. So, we have this fucking problem at the bar sometimes where, like, so some people will go up to us and be like, oh, what's up, bro? How you been? And then you don't know how to go from there. But I kind of, like...
I appreciate it a
yeah,
lot.
for sure. It's awesome. It's never because we want to be, like, dicks or because, like, you think, like, you're better than them and shit like that. Like, oh, like this. No, it's always like, it's genuinely, we just fucking don't, like, remember shit,
Yeah.
right? So sometimes
I just have bad memory, guys, just because of COVID.
Yeah, deadass, bro. I've had it before where, like, oh, you're with the friend group and shit. Some guy comes up to you like, what's up, my boy? And then, like, as soon as that happens, I'm never like, oh, hey. Oh, I always return the same energy, bro. I'm like a fucking 90-degree angle, baby. I'm like, oh, what's up? That's my boy right there. Yeah, and I don't even know who the fuck this is.
Like, how was your week?
Like,
I did get one guy, though. He kind of, like, grabbed me by my shoulder. Not aggressively, but he did put a hand on me, and he's like, do you remember me? And I was like, damn. Like,
actually, dude, it happened to me at Petco, too.
No, not Petco, the
dude,
dog.
At Petco, I promise you, bro. I was on my way to get them food and shit. And I was walking in, and this other guy was walking out with this big-ass German Shepherd, and he was like, yo, you went to Berkmar, right? I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, you went to Berkmar, too. I was like, I'm assuming in my head, like, all right, if he knows I go to Berkmar, he probably has to go to Berkmar. He's like, yeah, bro. He's like, you remember me? I was like, yeah, you look familiar, bro. Hell no, I never seen that motherfucker in my life, bro.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, shit like that.
I'm getting nervous. They're just like, you remember me? And I'm like, I try to avoid, like, what's my name? I was like, oh, like, it just slipped that one
like,
time.
Fuck, you gotta remember me because I don't know. I'm fucked up right now. You gotta be like, I'm fucked up right now. And I'm sober.
I'm at an 8. No, I'm like, I don't know. I'm at a 9.
I'm like at a 9 right now. Like, bro. Fuck no, bro. And what'd you end up telling that guy?
Card. Huh?
What'd you end up telling that guy?
He was like, you remember me? And good thing he didn't ask me, like, what, like, do you remember my name? He just said, do you remember me? I mean, like, oh my God, yeah, like, I saw you that one time, like, you were so cool. He was like, yeah, right? Yeah. And I was just like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, bro. But those are always the coolest people, though, because the thing is, they had the balls to actually, like, come up to you and say, like, what's up and shit like that. So you always gotta, like, reciprocate energy. Be upset. Like,
just a little aggressive on the start. I got a little nervous. I was like, no, don't get upset with me.
The thing is, you gotta think quick, bro. You gotta be like, okay. Sometimes it's actually... It goes different than that. It's always like sometimes I've had it where like, all right, am I still cool with this person and shit like that?
Oh yeah.
It's always weird because you don't know like your relationship with someone. Like you haven't, maybe y'all were cool in high school and shit, or, like earlier in life a couple years ago, but now it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
like
we haven't
completely
even
different people.
talked, and like they're kind of like different. I'm a different person, so it's like,
Mhm.
are we still cool and shit like that? Because bro, I had this instance. I swear I bring these motherfuckers up probably like once or twice a year, but it's because this shit still like fucks me up to this day. I was friends with these two shotties, right? In high school. We were really good friends, straight
Mhm.
platonic. There was no weird shit. They were like cool ass friends, right?
Yeah.
And then like after high school and shit, they like unfollowed me. And everybody knows once you get that unfollow, bro, that unfollow is like we're done. You're dead to me. Like
Oh,
you're
for
like
real?
you're. That's what I think, bro. Cause like if we're genuinely friends, like
Yeah.
if we're genuinely friends,
Oh.
and you unfollow me,
Or even acquaintances.
yeah, and you
that.
unfollow me, that just means that I in my head I'm like, oh, you just don't want to fuck with me no more. 'Cause
Yeah.
that, for me to unfollow somebody, I barely unfollow people unless you're
Uh.
so fucking annoying,
Or cringe.
cringe,
The
or like
cringe
I
is
just don't fuck with you, bro.
intense.
But it's rare. I hardly ever unfollow people, right?
Mhm.
So I saw that they both unfollowed me at the same time. I was like, well, that's weird. That's
Questionable.
suspicious and shit. And then I went to go check like my other socials. They unfollowed me on everything and shit.
Damn.
I'm like, oh fuck.
It's a little personal.
I know. And then so I was like, huh, this is weird, but okay. Maybe it could be like, oh, their significant others might be, insecure and shit, so they might be asking them like, oh, unfollow him or something like that. Which, hey, I get it. Whatever. I personally, I don't agree with that shit, but if this
Yeah.
them, that's cool. I can see that why that would be, right? And then so it wasn't until one day I ran into one of them at a Quick Trip and shit
Oof.
with her man, and I know her man, and I'm cool with her man, right?
Yeah.
So I said, "What's up?" to him, and she was right behind him, and she just like fucking like didn't even like she saw me, and she like looked away really quick, and she like walked out the Quick Trip and shit.
Damn.
She like avoided the fuck out of me. So I'm like, what the fuck did I do to them? Like I still don't understand, and it's so crazy, right? You come to a point where you're questioning yourself, like, did I wrong these people in some way for them to like not fuck with me? I've had so many of those instances where I'm like, did I do something wrong to these people where they unfollow me? Like, why is this happening?
You better gaslight yourself.
That's
Like,
what I'm
"No, it was
saying. I
me."
don't know. Like, I assume it's me, but maybe they just like, I'm moving on to another chapter of my life, which that makes sense too. If that's the case, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I just had like that, like, guiltiness. I don't want to wrong people. I don't want to be that person in other people's lives where like I probably said something I shouldn't have. Because I know there was this one instance too that it was one of my two of my friends, their
Mhm.
girlfriends, right?
Aw.
They were having like
Legibizatiku.
beef or something
Oh,
between them
no.
two, right? Between the two guys and the two girls.
Yeah.
And then we saw them at the bar and shit. And then I have this thing where I try to come in and then be like, cool vibe and shit like that. And I'll just say
Yeah.
anything to like get a laugh out of you or be cool with you, be funny, whatever. boom.
Mhm.
So I saw them there together. I was like, oh, what the fuck? I don't really see them that often. So I went up to them. I was like, oh, what's up, guys? And they were like, oh, what's up? And I was like, damn, y'all looking lonely as fuck. Like, I just said it straight like that.
Uh-huh.
But that's just like my humor, right? I
Yeah.
didn't mean it literally. Like, y'all looking lonely as fuck. But I said it like, I just literally said, like, y'all looking lonely as fuck. And then that's when I just saw them like turn off real quick. They were like, oh. And then, Haley was there too. And she saw that shit.
She
I
had to
was
grab
like-
you by your shirt.
I didn't
Wrong
really,
intro.
yeah, control.
Get back
That's
here.
enough. No, no God.
Time out.
But I didn't catch it at that moment and shit like that. But it wasn't until later where she told me like, oh, they probably weren't feeling the fact that you said that. And I was like, oh, I didn't think it was that
Yeah.
big of a deal. I was just being like, I don't know. I was just trying to break the ice. Does that
Yeah.
make sense like that? So sometimes I'm like, okay, is it because I did something like that to
Yeah.
somebody? I don't know. It's fucking weird.
Please, I didn't know.
Yeah. And then then after, okay, so back to Moondogs and shit. Later that night, we had some fucking wild shit happen,
Oh,
bro.
wait.
Yeah, so last podcast, right? We actually talked about like getting recognized and shit at the bar and all that, and
Yeah.
what that kind of feels like and shit.
Mhm.
And Destiny got her fair share of getting recognized or shit like that happened at the bar. So there was a shoddy, right? I don't know if you want to explain. I don't know how. Yeah, you could go in detail about it or whatever you want to say about the situation. But this was fucking funny to me, bro.
I mean, yesterday was pretty okay overall. The EDM room was like on and off. Like it was hitting and then it was missing
I know. I
hard.
think it was the DJ. The DJ was kind of slacking.
Yeah,
no cap,
I give
bro.
him like a 6.
Yeah.
On like
Usually, sometimes it's lit, but he was
Mhm.
playing too much. Like he didn't know his crowd, bro. Deadass.
no, yeah, like half the people were like physically wanting to shake ass.
Yeah.
And he was just like, nah, we're
we
gonna
even had to-
headbang. It's like,
I know, right? It was like some fucking Skrillex shit. We were,
yeah.
Hey, but the thing about me, that's why I fuck with going to the bar with Destiny, bro. I can always count on you to like get lit no
Yeah.
matter what's on, bro. Because I'm like that, and I've never really found anybody else like that until
Yeah.
you came along, bro. That's what I'm saying. She's identified material, bro.
The dancing's just fun. It's also
That's
fun
what
being
I'm
goofy.
saying.
I'm on my silly goose time when I'm at the bar.
That's why you don't gotta take yourself too fucking serious, right? If
Yeah.
you take yourself too much serious, like, oh, am I busting out the right dance move?
Yeah,
Bro,
I
sometimes I'd be looking at her, I'd be
What-
busting out the sprinkler
What
and
did I
shit.
did the fishing pole to you from across the fucking
Oh, that's pretty
EDM room.
funny.
I was like, reeled them in. And
I had lost her at one point because I went to like the bar and shit, and then like I went to the bathroom, whatever, and then like where she wasn't there no more, and I was like, okay, cool. She's probably over there dancing. So I went over there, and then I saw some of our friends and shit. So I get on top of like a elevated platform, and I was there busting my dance move, guns in the fucking air. I look up, and then she's over there in another corner, and then we make eye contact,
Yeah.
and we're like, hey.
Because I was at the pole, and there was like barely enough ratio of like guys to girls, because the amount of guys went down. And I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, I know.
Because
It's
sometimes
so
they get
weird,
really
man.
creepy by the pole, and
Super
all the girls
creepy.
would go to Moondog like, no.
It's because they
feel
know
it.
it's there that the girls go to shake some fucking ass. So
Yeah.
the guys are going there hoping.
But it almost looks like they're about to bark. It's like, because the ass is being shaken out there. You know
No
what I mean?
cap.
I'm like, at that point, just go to the strip club.
Yeah.
But
And we made eye contact and shit. And then I was
Yeah.
like, hey. And then she was like, zoop.
yeah, because I had made a friend. It was like a girl.
Yeah.
She went there
She was really
like,
cool,
by
really nice.
herself. And she was just like, yeah, I was trying to make some friends. I was like, yeah, that's cool. And I was just trying to find more people that I knew because
Yeah.
I didn't know like a good chunk of them. So I was like, oh, more people, that's fine. Try to reel you in. And then after a while, I like lost you a little bit as you were walking through the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Came up, everything was good. Everything was happening. The floor was super wet. Next thing I know, the girl I was making friends with, she went to the bathroom. I was like, all right, cool, yeah. I was like, I was gonna go with her, but I was like, I'm having fun. You go. Then this other girl is like walking up on stage, but I give her a hand to like be like, oh, it's like, do you need help? It's really slippery, even for me. We lock eyes, and she goes silent for a minute. I'm like, damn, what'd I do? And
Yeah.
and then she like comes up to me really quick, goes in my ear, and she's like, I just gotta tell you this and tell you this once. And she's like, I'm really questioning myself right now. And I'm like, what you mean by that?
Like, okay.
And then
Me too.
and most of her she has a group of friends too. So I was like, oh yeah, you guys want to come on, but only
Yeah, they were
like
cool too,
one of them
actually.
wanted to come on. The other one wanted to stay behind. I ain't gonna force no one on the platform. It is kind of awkward sometimes. And the whole time I'm dancing with this girl, she was super nice, super sweet. I wish I got her name too. Look
You
at me
didn't even get her
fucking
name?
up.
That's crazy.
Look at me fucking up again.
Her friend bought me some shots. She listens to the podcast. Shout out to her, bro. I forgot her name too. That's what we were talking
I'm
about at the
sorry.
beginning. We forget names, bro.
It happened it all happened so fast.
I
Oh,
know.
but yeah, her friend was super nice when we met her outside.
Yeah, really cool.
But yeah, she just kept telling me like how much she was questioning herself in terms of her sexuality. But I kept, like just like holding her arms and being like, "Hey, just think about this. You might be very drunk." And I never want
You're
anyone.
not bi, you're just drunk, bro.
You're not
It happens
questioning.
to
You're
us
just
all the
out of your
time.
mind.
It
You're at the
happens to the best of
9.5.
us. Bro.
I didn't want to like dismiss her, but I also didn't want her to do something she like regretted or anything.
Yeah, like it's not really her.
Yeah.
Do you like find yourself that happening to you a lot? Like people who like see you, right? And they're like, oh, I could be more open with her. She probably knows about what I'm going through.
Kind of like it's like a half and half. Some people are very shy to like admit it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then there's also those other half of girls that are just like, let's make out because it's hot for the guys. And I'm just like, keep that shit to yourself. I do not want to be
I
a
want
part of
that
that.
shit, bro.
That actually makes me very uncomfortable.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
When
I
they're
bet.
just like, come on, like grab my ass because it's hot. I'm like,
Oh.
no, stop.
That's me though,
Was
bro.
it
I'll be
with
like,
me
yo,
hiding
grab
my
some
face?
fucking ass.
Mom, come get me. It's
Mom,
scary.
pick me up. They're wilding.
Exactly. She was super nice the other
Oh, yeah, she
night. I got her Instagram. Austin got her Instagram. She was really nice.
Yep.
And then when we came outside, though, she was just like,
The famous quote that she said, bro.
she's grabbing my arm. She's like, come on, I'm just questioning myself so hard. She's like, I'll throw my whole life to be with you. And I went like, that woman, hold up.
Yeah, that, dude,
Hold
when
up.
she said that, we both looked at each other. Oh.
That's so endearing. That's the most Shakespearean shit I've ever
Yeah,
had.
no cap, bro.
That's the most Shakespearean shit I've ever had. I was like, oh no, think about it. Like, you are really drunk, because even her friends are grabbing her and be
They're
like,
like,
yo,
yo, shut the fuck up. Yeah, I know,
like,
right?
reel her in, reel her in.
And the thing is that shawty has like a whole like life and shit like
Oh
that.
my
So
God,
like,
yeah.
you know, that when we like, you know, figured that out, we're like, oh fuck, you know, like.
Yeah, I was just like, Miss Girl, really think about this.
Yeah.
Think about your future. I'm
Yeah.
not it.
Yeah, and like, you know, we're not making fun of her, no. Like thing. It was just like a interesting, like really funny,
just,
like.
I think that's the first time. That was so endearing. That's the first time it's happened to me. Such
Yeah.
a heartfelt testament, and I was just like, no.
Yeah, and like the overlying topic, I guess, in that is just like, you know, drunk people. It's either you find yourself, or you think you found yourself, and you're just saying shit that, like, you know, what I'm saying, when you're drunk. So.
I did tell her, I was like, I hope we hang out again. Like, when you're not drunk, see if we're like pretty cool friends.
Oh, yeah,
more than
she
anything.
seemed really cool. She seemed really nice.
Cause even her friend, she like told us like, you know, she listened to the pod. I dabbed her up. I was like, oh, that's so cool.
She brought me shout out there
and stuff like that. And I just like, I don't know. I just never want. And I feel like sometimes you gotta think for them, because it easily could have turned to like taking advantage of her if I was ever like single and stuff like that. But I wouldn't want to do that to anybody.
And I've seen that happen plenty of times with like guys do that shit to a drunk girl. The girl thinks like she's into them, but the guys are just trying to take advantage of a drunk ass.
She just needs some feeling, and I'm just kind of like, I'm not the one. I'm not the one. I'm sorry. I'm just really shy and nervous.
How do you go about when the guys hit on you, bro? I've always wondered that, like, cause I feel like that's fucking weird, bro. The thing is, when guys are at the club, right? I've always said this: when guys are at the club and they're drunk, they'll go for anybody, bro, for anything, any female presence. If you're
my tits are barely showing through my shirt. I can wear this shirt and then like I see a lump. that's a girl right there.
No way, man. But the thing is, bro, even if you're a subpar shawty, and that's kind of fucked to say, but like you know what I'm saying. You're a 10 at the club, bro. You want to get some guy attention? Go to the fucking bar, son. Them guys will treat you like royalty, bro. They'll buy you all the shots in the world, shawty. All they want is a little ass shaking in front of them, just fucking boost their ego and shit.
Even then, sometimes they just like want like a good conversation and stuff like that.
That too,
like,
yeah,
hear
that too.
them out, and that. I've made some guy friends like that. I remember I had one time we went to Perreo 404, stayed there talking about like cars and like my job and stuff like that with this one guy for like I think like 30 minutes, and he bought me like 3 drinks, 4 shots, and I dabbed him up, and I was like, "You're like, thank you so much. You're so cool." He's like, "Yeah, you're so cool too." And I was like, I felt guilty doing that, but he like really, really offered like very like insistently, and I was like, "Oh, thank you." But when guys hit on me,
the thing is with that situation that you just said, right? It's like a fine line, right?
Oh yeah.
He could read the situation really wrong. He could be like,
I dabbed him up real hard, so he knew what was up.
You gotta hit him with the dap up and then bring him in like with the shoulder
and pat the fuck out of his back.
You my dog, bro. You make your voice a little deep.
You my dog.
What's up, dog? And shit. Yeah, like I said, it's a fine line because they could get the wrong impression. They could be like, "Oh, I'm rizzing this shawty up." Meanwhile, you think like, "Oh, I'm making a cool friend and shit like that." So, how do you determine once it starts getting weird and shit like that?
You can kind of see it in their eyes. They're like looking at me up and down, like the whole like skin, like.
They lick their lips a little too much.
Yeah. Or it's some like keywords and stuff like that. It's just like, I don't know. I just have to like be in the presence.
You can tell, bro.
And you can tell, because I've made a guy friend who like, off of the first time we hung out, he like, I obviously knew he wanted something more, and friend zoned him hella hard.
Oh, yikes.
And but yeah, it's always really, really iffy, because sometimes some guys get butthurt because they're like, "Oh, you don't want me," and stuff like that. But sometimes I end up being just the wing woman to like also my other friends that are girls, because like the one guy will ask them to dance and his other buddy, and we look at each other, we're like, same position. We're like same shit, different day.
Fuck no, bro. I think for me, bro, if I got hit on with a guy, I think it's the fucking coolest thing ever, bro. I think it's like a compliment. You're like, yes.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
I had to dress a bit more feminine though. Like I will have to probably like wear like my crop tops like I'm wearing now, or like my like some shorts and some other stuff. to get more attention from guys, but I try to dress as like plain and androgynous as possible because that's what makes me feel comfortable.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, I mean, I get it either way. Like a lot of girls, like they're like, "Oh, I like your hair." Some guys will say the same thing. It's like the very similar compliments and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I did get nervous one time. This one guy, he dabbed me up, and I dabbed him up, and he was like, "You're just so beautiful," and I was like, I thought this was a firm handshake. And then he looks at me and he's like, "Can I kiss your cheek?" But he was already gripping my hand a little hard. And I didn't want to be like,
fuck.
"No." And then like my voice started, "No."
No, thank you.
So I was like, "Oh, yeah, sure." And then
Fuck.
he was like, "I just want to let you, like, I could tell he was a little drunk too. He's like, "I just want to let you know that you're so beautiful." And I was just kind of like, "Thank you, kind sir."
Drunk motherfuckers, bro.
It's just like, I've also just been in weird situations. Like I am small. As much as I talk big, I am small. So I don't want to be like I can take any shit come out my way. So yeah, getting a hit on guys, it could either be really creepy, really sincere. Yep. It goes like all over the place. I don't really get a lot of guys that come up to me and be like, "You want to dance?" They just end up behind me. Like spawning in, like.
See, I used to be a fucking like person that would be like, yeah, just go ahead and do that, bro. Like, shoot your shot, bro. Maybe the shot would be into it. But now I like growing up, I realized that's so creepy, bro. Do not do that. Do not get if you see like a group of girls like dancing with each other and shit like that. Absolutely do not get behind them and start like touching them and trying to be
grab their hips. We had that problem yesterday too.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say.
Karol G and stuff like that by their hips, and then when they got mad and they were like, "No,"
yeah,
he got mad. It's like, you're the one who grabbed
it's
first.
the ego. It's all about the ego, bro. Cause I was there. I was just doing my thing and shit like that. And then Carol and this other girl were dancing together and shit. And then there was a group of guys. It wasn't just one guy too. That's what makes it so weird, bro. Motherfuckers be so weird, bro. And they you just don't know, bro. Like you have no self-awareness.
3+ guys and the ratio is weird. You just know that they're not in it.
I know, and they were standing next
like
to me,
dogs.
so I looked like one of them. I was like, bro, I do not want to be here right now. This is not me, bro. I don't know these motherfuckers, please. So the guy was like, Carol was dancing on that girl, and then the guy went up to like near them and shit. He was like, "Hey, come on," like, and he like grabbed her. He like full on put his hand on her, like trying to bring her in and shit. And I was like, "What the fuck, bro?" See, the thing is, like, I was outnumbered in this situation. 3v1. I think it might have been 4 of them actually.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I'm not going to get into this because these motherfuckers are drunk. And if I try to be like, nah, they're going to think I'm a cock blocking and they're going to fucking start throwing hands.
Yeah.
I was like, ain't no way. So I was like, all right, let me just play it out. I know Carol will be like, nah. And then Carol was like, yeah, fuck. Like, she like was like, no. So they tried it with her friend, bro. Her friend was not having that shit, bro. She shoved the fuck out that guy. She was like, get your fucking hands off me. Like, don't fucking touch me and shit. And the guy, bro, he started getting like super upset too, bro. He's like, bro, what the fuck? Like, bro, I'm just trying to fucking dance and shit. I'm like, bro, you grabbed her. Like, what do you expect?
Yeah, she tapped me next. And she was just like, this motherfucker tried to grab me. I looked at the wrong guy. And I did say I was sorry. I didn't get like mean with him, but I was like, him? And he was like, not me. No. And then I was just like, no, it's okay. Are you okay? But they had like dipped real quick.
Yeah. The thing is, like, whenever you see some shit like that, bro, as all the men listening, right? Or even your women too. It's all good.
Yeah.
Come to the rescue, bro. Whenever you see some weird, creepy shit like that happening, bro, come to the fucking rescue. And that's what I did right now. I was right next to her, and she like whispered in my ear. She's like, bro, can I tell them like you're my brother? And shit. I was like, of course, bro. Like, and that's what she did. She was like, oh, that's my brother, bro. He's not fucking with that shit. And I just like looked over, like, give him a little me mug and shit. And they just were like, like. And they just
luckily, like
left.
Me being a girl, like when they could tell. And I like put my hand and stuff like that. They get offended a little bit, but then when I like kind of like pull them my way, it's like, what can they tell me? You know
That's
what I
the
mean?
cool part about having you around. Whenever like some weird shit comes out, you could say whatever you want. Somebody like, get the fuck away from me, you fucking bitch.
I had that incident.
And they will not say nothing to you, bro.
No.
They will not touch you. They will not say nothing, bro. You're invincible.
I do be pushing it though.
You do. I know. That other week, bro, you were fucking on it, bro.
Stop. I was a little drunk, and I was just like. It was last week after last week's podcast, and we were at the Save Shit Moondogs and stuff like that, and everybody was at the EDM room, and I was like, damn, I gotta piss. And so I'm like on my way out, and there's like a group of 3 guys, obviously like taller than me, like 5'10", 5'9". I'm like, 5'3" short ass. It's like trying to make my way through, and I like, you know, like twisted my body to give them enough space.
Yeah.
And dude pulls through and actively like puts his elbow out to like kind of shove me so he can go to the bar.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what ticked inside me. And I was like, "You motherfucker!" And I like get close to him and I shove the fuck out of him with 2 hands. I'm like, "Watch where the fuck you're going." And then he looks at me, he like bucks, and I'm like, "You fucker!" And then I like keep walking. And then I was like, when I got to the bathroom, I was still mad, but I was like,
"You over there like
I'm
this?"
like, I wasn't shaking, but I was like, damn, I need to control myself a little bit more.
One of these motherfuckers might punch me. No, I thought you were gonna bring up the other situation. Actually, when we got that same day,
Too many situations. I'm sorry.
when we got out that night, we were outside and shit. Some guy was trying to hit on Carol right next to Johnny and Two.
Oh.
He was like, "Hey, shawty, like, yo, let's go to this other place, like, cause it had just ended. It was like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
He was like, let's go to the other place. I got you with some
That's
shots.
the same
I got
night.
you. Yeah, I know. I got you with some shots. I got you with the bottle and everything like that." And then Johnny was playing along with it. He's like, "Yo, we might get some free drinks and shit."
Yeah.
Right? And he was like, I think he was trying to get Carol to like agree to that shit so we can
Yeah.
all drink. He was like, "Oh yeah, no, yeah, she's kind of down." He's like, "I'm her gay best friend." And then like that's when they pulled up next to us. He was like, "You see all 3 of these motherfuckers right there? They're all gay too. They're all her gay best friends and shit." And this man was like,
He gave the ugliest side eye.
he said, no, I think he literally said, "Fuck that shit, bro." Like, he's like, or he said, like, "I don't fuck with that shit." Something like that.
I don't know. I remember him giving the ugliest
Yeah,
side eye
something
like
like that.
this.
Like,
and
ugh.
then me and you at the same time said, what
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah, so she was like, "Bitch, what the fuck?" And I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, we said the same thing at the same time. I was like, "What the fuck, bitch?" Bro, and then Destiny, I never see you pop off like that at somebody, bro. You were like, "Fuck you, you fucking pussy." You were just saying a bunch of shit. I was like, "Damn, son."
Because I also saw Carol kind of like try to wiggle.
Yeah.
Because she was not
She's not
really
feeling
that comfortable with it after a while and stuff like that.
She's not experiencing exploiting men yet. It's okay though.
But even then, it's just like when the girl calls it, I think it's like it's safe to say like, yeah, she called it. You know, like it's time to wrap it up. And he kept trying to like grab her by her waist, but like he kind of got the hint after I kept fucking saying shit, stuff like that.
You were sounding off, son.
It was just really mean, and then he was being mean to Johnny.
Yeah.
Because Johnny was like, I'm her gay
Gay
like
best
brother,
friend, yeah.
like gay brother, gay best friend, and stuff like that. You're just like, kind of like, oh, get away from me.
Yeah,
I'm like, you
like,
fucking bitch.
gays?
You can just be
Ugh.
nice.
Yeah.
What, does it cost you
And
anything to be nice?
Dude, Austin was getting so scared, bro. That was the funniest part about it, bro. Austin was like, "Guys, can we calm down?" Like,
Please,
he was scared we about to get into a fight.
altercation.
I was like, "Motherfucker, we got numbers right now, bro. Shut the fuck
Yeah.
out."
That
The-
man's not that tall. We're averaging the same
Yeah.
height.
Motherfucker, bro.
But
But yeah, good times, bro. Good times at the bar and shit.
Sorry, I'm not problematic. I swear, I'm really nice. It's just people be pushing it.
Yeah, dead ass. Let's move it on to fucking real world shit though. We've had earlier this week and shit, bro. We got so sick, bro. It was tough. So after that weekend, but probably that weekend we caught some shit that weekend.
Yeah, it
bro.
was cold. That's it. What is it? The mom's like, oh, el aire
frío.
dentro.
Yeah, no cap. You have brought up a good point off the podcast that like, bro, whenever you get sick, it throws off your whole week, dude. Your whole week is fucked. Your schedule.
Yeah.
So usually what we do is, you work, gym, come home, dinner, boom, boom, boom. So I had a stomach virus, and if you ever had like the stomach flu, stomach virus, bro, it's the worst time. I'm not gonna get into details. Y'all can go look it up yourself, bro. But them symptoms, boy, they had me. I had never got it before in my life, bro.
His tummy hurt, but he was being brave. Through the
Bro,
whole
my
week.
stomach was a fucking active volcano, bro. Let's just leave it at that, bro. Both sides, bro. And I literally couldn't physically do anything, bro. There was points where I was like shaking and shit. Like I was like miserable, bro. Like I said, I've never had this before in my life. And so, like I said, I go to the gym and shit, and I couldn't even do that, bro. It's like even my sleep schedule was fucked up. I felt even more tired in the morning. Like it
had to
just
work
straight up
with
sucked,
it
bro.
and stuff like that.
Oh, but that was scary. That was frightening.
Can I
Trust
make
me.
it on time?
Bro, dude, I had to be next to a bathroom. Every hour I was literally going to the bathroom, bro.
Yeah.
It was just not fantastic.
It was weird because like on that Sunday, like I had a little bit of a cough, and I was looking at you, and I was like, why are you feeling off? And then I was like, why am I feeling off?
We had two different things,
I
bro.
was
What
like,
was going on
fuck.
with you, though? Like, how'd you feel?
I had like a cough, but I don't know like what it was. I don't know if it was like because of allergies, because like the temperature changes, so it's like hot and cold. So, just a random ass cough, and I was like doing everything possible, like taking meds, putting on my mask, doing my humidifier at El Vaporu, everything possible to speed it up, because I was not having it. I wasn't sleeping right. I was at work, my head was hurting, and I was like, bruh, this shit is not it.
Do you believe in the traditional custom remedies that your parents and all that shit? They always say, yeah, put some Vaporu like under your nose, or put some on your chest, put some alcohol on your feet, bro. I heard them all, bro.
It depends, cause like I just take regular medicine, cause I don't have time to boil all my herbs. I don't have time to boil all my herbs and drink it. So I will take my medicine if I remember. That's also a bad part. Like, if I remember sleeping on with my humidifier, I just do everything that I know that's helped me before, and that speeds it up. Because, like, after getting sick, at my grown-ass age, after getting sick, all those years and stuff like that, I'm just like, this works. I got to stop doing this, X, Y, and Z.
The thing is, bro, I grew up with so many, like I said, like, those traditional custom remedies and all that my mom would put on me, bro. She, like, rub my whole body in alcohol and stuff. Let's see one of the crazier ones. I forgot. There was this one point, bro. My mom drugged me one time. Bro, moms don't be just, I don't know. I'm not going to say moms. My mom don't be knowing about shit, son. She just thinks, she just comes up with shit.
This NyQuil with this ibuprofen.
That's exactly what happened, bro. So, yeah, like I said, I was sick as fuck one day, bro. I was younger, and then she came to every time I get sick, she comes to the house and stuff to take care of me, whatever, boom. And yeah, I was sick, and she brought some like NyQuil and shit. She gave me like 3 500 milligram like pills of something, right? Mixed in with like that NyQuil, bro. I was making like codeine, bro. I was like making some crazy shit, bro.
I was on one in my room.
Dude, so this is what happened. So, like, she came. She's like, all right, I'll be back later. I got to go do some things because she didn't live with me. And then I was like, cool. And after probably, like, an hour, maybe 2, they all started hitting me at once, son. Mm-hmm. The drowsiness and all that, bro. I felt like I was on a Xanax, bro. I was, like, moving slow. I was like, yo, what is happening? I felt like the earth. I felt like somebody turned the gravity up, bro. And then, like, I ended up on the ground and shit. I like, next thing I know, I'm drooling on the ground. I was just out of it. And then she came back. I feel like time just kind of like boom, like went like,
it was so slow, and then it all happened so fast.
Yeah, it was weird. And then she came back home. She saw me on the ground like all zombie fight. She's like, what's going on? I was like, I don't know, bro.
You put me on one.
I'm not feeling good, bro. And she put me to bed, bro. I was like sweating balls. I don't know, bro. I don't know what happened.
I mean, as a girl, I guess it's different because like like the pain once a month and shit like that.
God bless y'all, bro.
So when I get sick, my dad and my mom don't really believe it. They're like keep pushing through. Like my mom will be the more nicer one, and she'll be like, here, I'll give you this tea.
Yep.
Fuck, it's back.
Oh, there we go. The perfect example. Here it is.
She'll like give me like some medicine. She'll go buy this. She'll go buy that. My dad, he's like, it's fine. Just keep going. Just keep doing this. Just keep doing that. Like he will not believe me until like I'm bedridden. That happened one time when I was playing 2 sports at the same time, still going to school, eating, pushing it, and all that. I saw that. My body was at its limit. Yep. And I got to the point where I was bedridden. Every time I moved, I had a migraine, and then every time I coughed, I had a migraine. So I was crying, which caused more migraine. But then I was coughing, actually. And it was just the worst pain ever. And I was crying that I just wanted to go to the hospital so bad. And my mom like was literally holding me. She's like telling my dad like, "Don't you look at her?" And he goes, "Fine, we'll go." And I'm just like, what the hell? We get to the emergency room, and I'm like just crying, like can't open my eyes because I'm sensitive to light. And they like come back with the results. They're like, so she had pneumonia, bronchitis, and an ear infection all in one go.
You got a fucking cocktail of diseases.
Yeah, and they're just like, why didn't you bring her sooner? And my dad's just like, well, we didn't know. It's like,
we didn't
like
know.
What do you mean you didn't know?
I was over here crying.
I was over here dying in the fucking early ages. I would have been gone. I would have been done.
If this was Village Times, bro, I would have been in a hole right now, bro. Yep, it's back. No, it's true though, bro. And like I said, oh yeah, the question was like, oh, do you believe in that shit? I honestly don't believe in a lot of the traditional like remedies and all that they give you, because sometimes they'll be like, oh yeah, boil this herb and then do this. Like it's like a whole like process and shit. I'm like, I might just take this amoxicillin and I think I'll be alright.
I think it's weird when they're like after I shower, like your feet are hot and you step on something cold. They're like, that'll hurt your back. And as a kid, I was like, I don't get what y'all mean. And now that I'm older, I'm like, damn, this shit hitting different. I'm
Bruh,
like,
you want to know the ultimate lie that we were fed as children?
no.
That you'll go outside in the cold
Uh-huh.
and you'll get sick from being in the cold. That's false, bro. Like you can't get sick from the cold. Like you got to get sick by bacteria and viruses. They're like, if you just go out in the cold, you don't get sick. So sometimes what ends up happening, I guess this is the science behind it. You end up going outside in the cold and your body reacts like to the cold. It starts like raising its temperature and shit like that because your body. So assuming that you just took a shower, right?
Yeah.
A lot of us take a shower in like almost boiling fucking hot water.
Yeah, all my
So
girlies.
Yeah, no cap.
Haley.
So your body temperature is different and shit. So when you go into like a environment that is like colder or hotter than what you just did, your body starts to like adjust itself to it. So it starts even sweating more and all that. So you start to feel like sick and shit. So that's the science behind it. But like your grandparents, your mother, all the fucking people from the motherland always told you like, oh, don't go out barefoot into the floor. That's the main one too.
Expose your neck. They're gonna
They get
find
mad
you.
as fuck at you. Like, you're gonna get sick. Like, no, but that's not how it works. That does not get you sick, bro. I'm sorry if I just broke some people's, traditions, but that's literally what it is, bro. I don't know. I've always been so anti, like traditional shit. I've tried to break the.
Just give me that pill, please.
That's what I'm saying.
You.
Like the old head like traditions that they tell you that are actually false. Because now that I learned like scientific shit, I'm like, oh, okay, this actually does not make sense. What are you telling? Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know. It's really interesting that they sometimes you grow up as a, living a whole lie and shit. You're like, damn, what else was I lied to about? Fuck.
What should I believe anymore?
That's what I'm saying. It's really hard because, like, oh, I got science telling me one thing, but I got this, like, tradition. But you want to know the crazy shit? I might have said this on the podcast before. This is when I knew my mom just didn't know shit, bro. She was like,
she's trying.
She was like, oh, because she knows that I'm a really picky eater, right?
Yeah.
I don't eat vegetables, obviously, right?
Ooh.
I'm anti-greens. I'm starting a new movement. If anybody wants to join me, hit me up. We're banning lettuce. I'm gonna start a change.org.
About
ban
to scare
lettuce.
him with a fucking piece of romaine in his room.
And then, so I was at her house eating one time, and she makes most of her meals contain like veggies, like little peas, carrots, boom, whatever.
Yeah.
And she sees me picking them out and shit. And then she's like, you gotta start. You're a grown adult now. She's like, I get it. When you were younger, whatever, but you're a grown adult now. Like, getting straight out, eat your veggies and shit. I was like, no, I don't need these veggies, bro. I get my carbs. I get my protein. I kind of like scientifically explain my whole, thing.
Yeah.
She's like, no, like, all these vegetables, they have a lot of protein. Like, you're going to get all your protein.
I don't understand if they don't have protein, but like
they don't have protein.
Vegetables
do not have protein, bro. Like they have nutrients, they have good vitamins, but they do not have protein. She's like, they have the most protein.
No,
I'm like, you don't even know what protein is.
She just wanted to win the argument.
I know, like she was probably fed that as a child herself, like saying like, oh, like these have a lot of protein. She probably don't even know what protein is, bro. But like she just knows like it's like a healthy ass shit.
My mom just be spilling out anything too, cause when I was on the phone with her and she heard me coughing, and she's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, "Oh, I just been having a cough all week." She's like, "Yeah, cause you don't know how to stay inside." And I was like, "Okay, I don't want to get lectured." It's like
that's a scary thing, bro. Like I always thought about like if I have kids one day, like I'm gonna have to be that adult that takes care of this kid. Like, am I fucking suited enough to like care for somebody to give somebody
executive decisions?
That's what I'm saying. No, dead ass. You gotta be like, okay, when do I take this fucking kid to the hospital? Like, what should I give them?
I mean,
I can barely take care of myself.
I actually like my dad is like for how like how much he is like to take care of like ourselves and stuff like that, and like he has stuff because he like broke his back and things like that. Yeah. I did break my toe once, and he just refused to take me to the hospital. just because
Bruh.
he was just like
Your toes out here like
no,
fucking
stop
90
no.
degrees.
It is kind of like a 30 degree
Like, yo,
angle.
I think this
It's
shit's
my-
broken.
it's my,
The
like-
bitch is like this.
It's my left toe. It's my left toe that's like fucked up. I played with it because he just refused to believe me. So there was nothing I could do. I played soccer with a broken toe.
Jesus.
And
fuck, bro.
yeah, he just did not believe me and stuff like that. I'm not saying he's like a bad dad or I was
Yeah.
neglected. I'm just like, sometimes they really don't be making the
They
best
just-
executive
yeah,
decisions.
no,
So I was like,
100%, yeah.
Dad, this is purple and it hurts to walk. And he's just like, he was like sleepy. He's like, you'll be fine. It's whatever. And it sucked because my mom was like away in California at the time. He's like, you'll just figure it out. And I was like, what do you mean figure it out? Till now I like walk a little funny and stuff like
Right.
that. So if y'all see me limping and shit.
Have you ever
keep it
broke
to
like
yourself.
other shit other than your toe?
Yeah. My knee and my pinky. This pinky.
Your knee, like you tore some shit or you broke it?
I tore my ACL. I still don't have an
Oh,
ACL on my
Oh, you
leg.
never got it fixed?
No, I never got
Oh
it
my
fixed. Dude,
God.
it's a 9-month recovery
Yeah, I
process.
know.
9 to like what? What's half a year, guys? Yeah.
That's 6 months, bro. 6 to 9
Was
months.
it 18 months? It's like 9 to 18 months.
Oh,
Line of
shit.
like recovery. So when I did break it, it was either, oh, you missed all of senior year of high school soccer, and then after that it was like, oh, either that or you missed all of college soccer. And I was just kind of like, I'll just put it off and stuff like that.
And it's still put off to this day.
Yeah, it's still put off. Surgery is expensive, bro.
No, for real, 100%, bro.
Surgery is expensive. You gotta take that time off. You gotta do this. You gotta do that. I mean, I still gotta be careful. If I move wrong one of these days, like my knee will just pop and I gotta like sit down.
Shit, bro.
And it won't be like a little like you crack your knuckle. You can hear like the, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
I
oh
heard.
god. And then I just I gotta sit down for like a breather and stuff like that. I can't sit cross-legged for too long. I can't do certain exercises at the gym, or else it's like very like unstable.
That's scary, man.
And
As an adult, like, you know, that's really scary because, like I said, like you said, bro,
yeah,
surgery is expensive. We can't afford that shit. In this day's economy, ain't no way.
Yeah,
son.
I just wore a brace, a metal brace. My
Yeah.
teammates were cooking me. They were calling me RoboCop.
Oh, RoboCop, bro. That's funny.
They
Yeah, I
were-
have a boy named Daniel, actually. Shout out my boy Daniel Fuentes, bro. This man, I think he tore his ACL too, actually.
Yeah.
I call him Cyborg.
No.
That's
I was
so
over
funny.
here. This shit was the worst, bro. Like that metal brace would cut my other leg. It would chafe. I would be so uncomfortable. I like had to like run with it, so I'd run a little funny. It was just, it's always still weird. I guess that's why like off put me to keep playing and be like persevere through. And like I don't have to. I
no,
just
for
gotta chill.
I went through the same exact thing, actually. I tore my MCL, not my ACL.
Ooh.
MCL is not as bad because it heals by itself. You don't need surgery for the most part.
Mm.
It's still like a 2 to 4 month recovery and shit.
Yeah.
It was not my fucking fault too, bro. I was over here playing with these beans and Bean League,
Yeah.
and I got slide tackled and my fucking knee went like sideways and it got wrecked, bro. So
Dude, same. Mine wasn't my fault. I got wrecked by a girl who was like 5'10", 6
Yeah,
foot.
damn,
Just chuckered my fucking ass. I was like, fuck you guys.
bro. And bro, the thing is, and this goes back to the fucking topic we were talking about earlier. I told Haley, I was like, bro, I know, like I didn't go to the doctor. Okay, so this is all self-diagnosed, by the way. I didn't actually go to the doctor, and they told me like, you know, my MCL is torn. I knew what it was. Like I knew because of the feeling. I googled, I MD the fucking the symptoms and shit. I knew before like I even googled it. I was like, oh, this is something is torn.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not my ACL because there's no popping sound, but I know it might be my MCL because I can't I couldn't bend my knee all the way back.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? And like at certain angles, if I turn my foot and it rotates like whatever my knee is and shit like that, it hurts so fucking bad. I was okay, this is MCL for sure. So I saved myself some money, didn't go to the doctor, self-diagnosed myself, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna take care of it. Like if I like what a doctor would normally recommend me, I'm gonna just do myself. And so I wore my brace and shit like that, iced it. I didn't do any physical things for like fucking like It took me half a year for this knee to get fully back in motion
really?
before I can squat, before I can do anything, bro. It's just, dude.
Even now, I get a little scared when
I
I
do too,
tore
bro.
mine. I heard the biggest pop of my life,
That's scary, bro.
and I felt a ring from my knee all the way down to my ankle on either side. And it was just ringing, and it's like
my
I
God.
like twisted, like my leg landed, but my whole body was sideways, and it just like just in. I fell down. I was screaming and crawling. I like that's the worst pain I've ever felt, and I was just like crying. They had to carry me off, and I was just like, my knee was fucking huge. I couldn't walk, and it was just like a crazy time because like my dad was just like, well, like shit happens.
Shit
I was like,
happens, yep.
stop! Like I don't want to think about this right now. Yeah, that like knee pain, it just sucks because it feels like it ages you so fast. I think what also put me off of surgery, they were just like, oh, if you fix it, you can still tear it, and then either way,
Yeah,
you're
I
gonna end
know,
up with
right?
arthritis early. And I was just like, damn, why y'all gotta
Thanks for
set me
that,
up like
guys.
that?
But I don't know if I said this on the podcast before, but I actually broke a kid's fucking wrist before, bro.
Now you being a bully.
No, but it was an accident, bro. We were playing soccer. It was a league game. This is when I played for a league, and I was always bigger than most of the kids and shit like that. I
Mhm.
grew really big, really quick for my age back then, and I just stayed the same. People pass me now. I'm not even 6 foot, guys. Fuck. And then, so we were like 50-50 going for a ball. There was a ball like in front of us and shit, and we were both running towards it, and we were gonna meet in the middle. Not for me, bro, because I knew that I had the fucking edge, bro. I was on this side. The guy was on the outside, like near the fucking line, right?
Yeah.
And then we go in for the shoulder. Bro, I put everything I had behind that shoulder. I fucking went boom. That kid went flying, bro, like just straight boom. And I guess he landed like this and then landed on his wrist and snapped that motherfucker, bro.
What?
And then he started like screaming and shit. I was like, bro, in my head I was like, this fucking pussy, bro. Like I just wrecked him, bro. And then yeah, his parents, like, I guess like the coach went, you know, the coach comes onto the field like, oh, let me take care of my player. And he just like, it took a while. His parents were on there. And then his parents got mad at me.
Oh,
They're saying, oh, that fucking kid over there, like, you know, he
take
did
him out of
this.
here. You need
No,
to leave.
That's what they were going at. They were starting
No.
to fucking riot and just saying like, oh, it was all my fault. I was like, bro, get your kid's weight up, son.
No.
This is a sign. He will remember this forever, bro. His weight needs to be up.
It's character development.
I was probably the start of his villain origin, bro. He's probably
Yeah.
like someone right now plotting against me, like, oh, I'm gonna get him back one day. This will never happen to me again, bro. I've been fucking humbled so many times before, bro. When you think you're the shit and all that, and
Yeah.
then some bigger person comes around,
Yeah.
they do you dirty. And
I
shit
always
like
get
that.
humbled. I'm short as hell.
God bless, bro. I always say that, like, it's very interesting how you have to do with what you got, bro. Like, you're born with the genetics you have.
Mhm.
You're born with your height. I'm born with my height. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And for some people, I was talking about this with one of my friends. I'm not gonna say who it is, but they're relatively short. They're big,
Yeah.
but they're relatively the one thing that they're good looking too,
Oh, I feel so bad for guys like that.
but they're short.
Yeah.
And you know, if you know nowadays, the shotties, they love the height, bro. It don't matter if you're skinny
Don't
as
worry,
fuck,
y'all
fat
short
as
kings
fuck,
are out there.
that ass, anything like that. You just gotta be fucking 6 foot and above. I don't got that, but it's all good though. That's, when my Air Force is on, I'm close.
With my heels on.
Bruh.
You studied like, oh.
He was saying like, I was always he was saying like he's very insecure about when he was younger because he felt like he couldn't do nothing about it. Like he's like, bro, I'm short. Like what am I gonna do? So
Yeah.
the thing that he did, it was like, okay, let me just boost up my other attributes that I have. You know, let me be more charismatic. Let me get my fucking money up. Let me get big, and that's exactly what he did. He did all those to compensate for his height and shit like that. I'm like, damn, bro, some people are just dead ass born at a disadvantage, damn near.
Dude,
Goddamn.
yeah, I remember in school there used to be these two guys that like, you know, ain't nothing wrong with them. They just short. It's okay. And they
Y'all
were
pray for my man. Ain't nothing
pray
wrong
for
with
my
him.
man. He just need a couple inches
Yo.
in height, not as somewhere else.
Oh God.
And he's like, you know, he's good looking. They were both pretty good looking and stuff like that. But I would hear these girls, since like I'm a part of the girls table and like whatever, they'd be like, yeah, he'd just be the perfect guy if he was taller. That used to make me feel so bad. I was like, what's stopping y'all? It's a short king, bro. Give him a chance. And they're just like, Yeah, but if he was taller, he would have everything and stuff like
God
that. I'm
bless.
just like, damn, y'all are strict as hell. Like,
You might be the wrong person to ask this, but like, I wonder if if height or dick length is more important, bro. Like, I was just about to be like, all right, would I take off an inch of dick and add to height, or would I take off an inch of height and add to dick? That's what I was about to say. Like, is it which one would be more important and shit like that?
I'll
And
say it's a day and die. Not that I have. It's not about the size of the boat. It's about the motion
That's
of
what
the
I'm
ocean.
saying, bro. This
6
3-inch
inches
Punisher
is
about to
enough
go
from
crazy.
the episode 1.
Oh yeah, 6 inches is enough movement, bro. We're bringing it back. I will say this forever. 6 inches is enough. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, because I've heard from other girls.
Other girls, yeah.
Do not rope me into this. That like you don't need a huge ass dick to just know what you're doing and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
bro.
or just to make
Fuck.
sure like
You don't.
she has a good time. I don't have a dick, and she has a good time, so I'm pretty sure I don't need all that.
All the
that.
guys are home are like, let's fucking go.
What is it? They asked me how long my fingers were, and I was like 3 inches. And it does the job. It does the job.
Fuck no, man. Yeah.
You know, a lot of stuff has changed. You know, last year I was listening to this podcast, and I'm on this podcast.
That's crazy. I was just thinking about that the other day too. I was like, damn, bro. Like, I remember the day that we fucking like not met you, but like I was introduced to you to like in a different setting. You know what I'm saying? Where I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this motherfucker could be my friend and shit like that.
Yeah.
You pulled up to us. You showed us your Spotify. You're like, oh, I listen to this shit.
No cap, when I did that, I was like, damn, I hope this shit ain't too cringy.
Nah, it's fucking awesome, bro. Whenever people come up to us and they're like, yo,
Yeah.
I listen to the podcast, that's like the best feeling ever, bro. I feel like connected to you automatically. You can skip all the like, introducing yourself and shit like that. I'm already like on your vibe, like, yo, let's do it. We're taking some shots, bro. You want to come party with us and shit? That's the ultimate thing. If you ever see us around, bro, just hit us up. Be like, yo, I listen to the podcast, bro. You're in, bro. We're gonna buy you some shots or some shit like that, bro.
But I mean, overall, a lot of things have been changing. I think they still will be changing, and I think
Yeah.
that's not like it could be for good and it could be for the bad.
For sure.
I've been realizing that a lot because I think it was like hitting me like yesterday and stuff like that. In terms of like just regular shit, and I was just like, damn. I was like, last year, I never even really went to Moondogs.
Yeah.
And last year I had like 2 jobs, like trying to make it through. I was at my parents' house. I was gaming a lot. It's like every time I look at my life, it's always different from one year to the next. Obviously, like going from like 4 years ago, where was I? That's always a big difference.
Yeah.
But I think every time I look at my life and I'm always just like, where was I last year? And it's always very, very different. I'm always pretty proud as to like I don't feel stagnant. And
Yeah, 100%, bro. Like, cause like the thing is, like, you always wanna be in a better position, and a lot of people don't realize that. Usually, like year to year, you are in a better position than you were the year before and shit
Yeah.
like that. You just don't take the time to stop and like be like, I guess, recognize that and be like, oh fuck, bro. Like, last
having
year
a
I was
midlife
doing this,
crisis
but
while I was drunk. Just like, yeah.
and now I'm like this. No, for sure, bro. Cause like, I actually do this though. I do reflect on the years before. I'm like, oh, this time last year, especially because Snapchat, bro.
Yeah,
Snapchat,
the
it gives
Snapchat
you that.
memories. I was like,
Yeah.
damn.
Like, this is what I was doing. These are the people, and we were talking about like off the podcast. We were like, dude, like, shit changes all the time. Like, the people that you hang out with, sometimes there's people that are around you that you're like, oh, these people are gonna be with me forever. I love them. Like, they're so cool, and
Yeah.
they're gone. Like last year, I think I lost a lot of people, bro.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people came, a lot of people went. A lot of people came and a lot of people stayed. And that's awesome. And you just take those fucking like blessings with you and you'd be like, okay, like, I'm not gonna, I guess, force anything. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I'm gonna just ride with
How it's going.
life, bro.
Yeah.
And then usually when you do that, I guess this is the big saying that a lot of people say is like, you know, if you're 1% better, like each time, I guess, and you can say each month, each day, each week, if you're 1% better, bro, in the long run, you will be like greatly in a better spot. And then, and that's what that's where the fuck we at, bro. No, yeah. Well, how has your life changed, bro, in this past year? Because I mean, bro, you moved out your house. Everything has really changed for you,
Yeah,
bro.
it's like I did a complete. I wouldn't say 180. Like I'm going backwards and stuff like that. But I mean, I for sure. I always.
You just went into like a different path, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Like I didn't expect. I was surprised. Like I think what was it last year around the summertime? You invited me to Haley's party.
Oh yeah.
I was just like, oh my god, he wants to be.
Yeah.
He thinks so cool, and then stuff like that. Cause I in high school, obviously we knew of each other, but we weren't like cool.
Yeah, but I always knew you were like lit. I always knew you were like a really cool person. Like if I ever see you like around and shit like that, because you always see people around, even if you don't know them, you see people around, whether it be like at the bars, the clubs and shit, or you just know them from Instagram for some reason, and you kind of catch their vibe and shit. You can kind of tell if they're cooler now, if they're your vibe. And I always saw that with you, and I was like, okay.
But then I was always kind of see you. You would always kind of like have your like straight face, and I was like, damn, he about to roast the shit out of me.
Bro, you know how we were meant? We were meant to be co-hosts. We were meant to be friends, bro. I don't think I told this story on the pod before, but she used to play soccer, and I used to play soccer too. And there was this one time we were the girls would play before the guys, and so she played.
Yeah.
And usually the guys would go out to watch the girls play first. And we were going up against one of our rivals, bro. It was a new school, it was Discovery High School.
Oh.
And you had scored against them and shit like that, right? And I saw her do like the quadruple dab, bro. She was over here like, ooh, dude. And then I was like, oh, she fucking
tomfoolery.
Yeah, I was like, she fucking lit, son. So then that same night, I scored, bro. And I was like, oh, let me do the destiny. I did the same thing. I was like, ooh. I didn't know. I was like, I hope she caught on that, but I don't know if you saw it or not. But I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool and stuff like that. Like, I did want to be friends, but I knew, like, I don't know. It just felt like I wasn't, like, you know, like, on par with everything.
Right. Sometimes it's a risk. It's a risky move trying to get cool with someone that you faintly know, or, like, you know what I'm saying? Because they could easily be like, they could reject you, you know? Like,
and
that's the biggest, like, setback, like, to, not really to your ego, but, like, say you build up the courage to finally say what's up to that shawty over there. She looks so fine, but she's also so fucking cool. And then she just kind of turns out to like, kind of like, you know what I'm saying? That's just so tough, man.
And it was like, it wasn't like oh, he was just so far away. No, like we had mutual friends.
Yeah, all the time.
So we always ended up sometimes like in the very same vicinity and things like that. But, you know, like, at the time, I was different, you were different, things like that. And I think as the more, like, we started to, like, warm up to each other, I think Haley's birthday party last year really helped with that and stuff like that. I was like, oh, everybody's, like, pretty cool.
Time.
Had to meet Johnny and Austin in a very, like, intense way. So now we're
all
cool.
Y'all were almost beefing and shit like that. That was wild,
man. What else? Like, yeah, and then like turning into like being like roommates and shit like that, going out a lot and stuff like that. I was
crazy,
like, if you were to tell me on a bingo card, it's like you gonna move in with him and Haley, I would have been like, that's cap.
That's weird, right?
That's so different. I think we always make that joke. It was like, y'all weird for letting me move in without knowing me too well.
No, that ass, right.
And then you're like, no, you're weird for coming in without knowing too much.
No, but the thing is, like, you can kind of. You can see people like
kind of gauge like how you are
really quick, bro. Like, obviously everybody has underlying shit or whatever. Not everybody, but some people have like underlying shit that you don't know about. But for the most part, you can see what they're about. You can see like their personality. Like, are they cool? Will they be reliable? Like that's my main thing. Are you cool? Are you reliable? Are you a good person? And if you fucking check all those boxes, then hey, come on in, bro. We're gonna fucking get lit. You can come out with us and get fun. And that's when I knew you were cool, when you came out with us and shit like that. We invited you.
Yeah. I was really nervous.
I know. There was a point where you were hitting me up like every weekend. You're like, so what's the move now? I was like, oh, shit, she's fucking lit, right?
I was hoping I wasn't being too annoying because the first time I did come out, I was super nervous because I was by myself.
Yeah.
So I, like, didn't know everybody, like, too well.
Yeah.
And I was just like, damn, I hope everything goes well. I hope I'm not, like, too weird. I was trying to, like, be careful not to drink too much, stuff like that, but still get, like, pretty lit. The friend group at the time was different. It was different.
Very different. 50% different. Goddamn.
Yeah, that there wasn't good stuff there.
Yeah. Well, there was with that old friend group, that's what's really interesting. Like, I feel like every friend group has like its like euphoria stage. Like it's fucking honeymoon stage.
Yeah.
There was a point. I think it might have been like the first month or two that you came around, where we were having the time of our fucking lives, bro. Like I like that's part of the memories that I see on my fucking thing is like we're going out every night. Everybody was cool. Zero problems. Nobody was beefing at the end of the night. Nobody was getting into weird shit. It was just straight awesome. 100% of that night was freaking awesome. And it wasn't until like a couple months later when just shit starts getting fucking weird and then people get weird and
They
you
were just
have
assuming
to-
things from like one to
Yeah.
another, and I was just like, I didn't want
That
to.
all breaks friend groups, bro. And it all starts with one person. Just
Yeah.
end up being weird. You know what I'm saying?
And I didn't want to be like, I didn't want to be too bold about it because I know it wasn't my place to say anything because I wasn't that into
like
the friend
knitted
group.
into it.
Yeah, so I didn't want to be like, well, what I think, and then I was just kind of like, you got no say in this shit. And I was just kind of like, I was like, let me just keep my quiet. If they sort it out, they'll sort it out.
Yeah.
So on and so forth. And I mean,
The thing about that though is like, dude, when I was younger and shit, it was really hard to cut off like friends and shit.
yeah,
I would, even if you did me dirty and stuff, even if you like were weird or you had a lot of problems around you, I'd always keep you around because I'm like, fuck, damn, but I know them for so long, like I can't just cut them off and shit. When I was an adult, bro, when you get older,
oh my god, yeah,
you realize like, oh, some people just got to go. Some
yeah,
people
but
like,
I mean, I think I've been more on the opposite end where like they just stop talking to me, like they just like I get cut off and like I just don't know why, or like they just don't want to hit me up no more, and I'm just like, damn, like what I do, you know.
But the cool part is that once you get a cool friend group like us,
yeah,
like if anybody else like cuts us off or cuts me off and shit like that, I'm like, oh, that's cool, bro. I got my people that I hang out with every single weekend. I don't need nobody else. I got my fucking cool 5 people that I always hang with. Like, what, you're gonna fucking be like, nah, I don't want to fuck with them? That's cool, bro. Like I never needed you, bro. We got our people right here, bro. That's what's so cool about being close knitted. We've always like, that's one of the things we always talk about on the podcast, bro. And we will forever continue to talk about it. Get close, get knitted, really knitted with your people, bro. And if there's some underlying things like, oh, maybe I don't trust these people, you gotta sort that shit out, bro.
But
as a grown adult, fix that shit. Like either you gotta cut them off, you gotta speak to them privately, be like, yo, this is bothering me that you're being weird about this. Like,
yeah. But it was also good because like I think you and Austin had talked about it. It's like finding like people who are like you.
yeah,
And I was like,
it's
oh,
very important.
people on my silly goose time, like,
Yeah.
oh, they
People that won't look at you and be like, oh, they're cringe, or people that
Yeah.
won't like judge you heavily, because then you feel like a fucking jester. You feel weird.
I
You don't feel
like the
comfortable in your
clown.
yeah. You don't feel comfortable in your own skin. Like this is naturally me. You gotta put
Yeah.
on a mask. You put on a face like, aha, look, I'm this tame person. But no, really,
Yeah.
I like to pop off. I like to talk shit. Really like to do all that.
Like I do realize like I talk pretty loud when I get excited. And that used to be a really downfall.
Yeah.
I used to like my voice would get a little high and a little too loud, and they're like, "Hey, can you like calm it down?" And I'd be like, "Oh, sorry."
And then here you meet all these clowns that are the same way. Like, oh, fuck you. Like, yeah, I know.
And Johnny's, bro, that was funny.
And they bring, the thing is, some people bring like the real you out of you. Sometimes you don't even know the real you and shit. And then when you meet the right people, they're like, oh, dude, I'm actually this person. I actually like being like this, and they accept you for who you are and shit like that. We were talking about off the podcast that even with Haley, like sometimes she acts like a different person, and then the other people like Austin brings the real her out of her, and it's really fun to see that person come
finally
out.
like me and her are finally comfortable. Like
Yeah.
it was weird because when we first like started talking and stuff like that, you know, because we moved in, I was just like, oh, I like this and this and that, and she was like, I like that too. And we would look at each other, and I was like, you know, we had so many similarities and so many this and so many that. And we're just like, why weren't we friends before? And then she looks at me and she's like, I don't know. And it's just because, like, well, the friend groups that we were in, like, she wasn't so loud. She's very reserved. I was either, like, too loud or maybe, like, too much, or then I would be reserved. Or I get scared to talk to her because she'd be very quip and, like, one answer words and stuff like that.
Dude, you know what else we could talk about? Actually, the fucking moving in with like people of the opposite like gender and shit. Some people think it's fucking weird. Like, and I was talking about this with Naomi and shit like that. Like, you know how me and her, that's my best friend and shit like that. but that's like my best friend of the opposite gender. And some people find it so weird like that. And whenever I remember some people would question like, damn, dude, is it not weird? Like you live with another girl, or like for you, like, oh,
Yeah.
you live with a guy. Does it not get weird? Like, do you not like? And I'm like, bro, people just be so weird.
People
Like,
try
no,
to
it doesn't.
instigate it too. They're like, so how is it living with them? You know what I mean? Like I would be like, damn, they farted on my face when we were walking up the stairs or some shit. Like I don't know.
Like, bro, it's not weird.
It's
As long as
like-
you're not a weird person, it's not weird,
or
right?
You're not like too hard headed. You're like open. But I'm not saying that like, oh, I was just so carefree and coming in how I wanted. No, I was like trying to find my footing too. Cause I was a bit like kind of like, I know we didn't really hang out that much alone, so I was just kind of like, how was it gonna be? And then after like the first 2 times hanging out with you, I was just like, he's not weird at all. I catch
Yeah.
no weird vibes, catch nothing off, nothing weird. And then you tell me about like the amount of friends that are girls that you've had,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, that makes sense. I don't feel creeped out.
And then when they could tell you that, like, I'm not weird, and you know what I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
that, okay, like it's just.
But I had a guy friend who like I got comfortable with him, but after I like we was like friends.
It's tough, bro.
friends.
It's a really
Yeah.
fine line, bro.
And like he would sleep over and stuff like that.
Yep.
We would do so much together. We would go out and things like that. And then I mean, he got a girl and he like dipped hard. But I mean, that's
tough.
whatever.
Yep.
Fuck him.
Fuck 'em. Fuck 'em, bro.
And then but yeah, it just happens. It's like once you find like that comfortable energy, it just stays. You know what I mean?
100%, bro.
I don't feel too weird like being like, oh, my door's open. Oh,
That's what I'm saying,
I'm just
bro.
like, no, it's fine. They got dogs and stuff. It's whatever.
Yeah, it's just very important, bro. Like the comfortability with people and like figuring out who they really are and shit like that.
Yeah, because I think I mean it was also different because when we brought in Luis, like it was the same thing. He gives no weird vibes. He's really cool.
Really cool guy.
And you know he might be quiet, but he's super nice. It's just like
Having roommates in general is just like a crazy thing. Cause I mean, before you guys, bro, we had roommates too, and it's just a
Yeah.
shit show, bro. Like it ruins relationships, bro. And I told that to Naomi actually. Like she's my
Mhm.
best friend in the whole world, bro. I love her so much. And we were supposed to move in at one point too with her. And I straight up told her, well, she had texted me. She's like, yo, so are we like still doing this or what? And I told her, I was like, you know what, bro? I can't, bro. Like, ain't no way. Like, you know, as much as you're my best friend and all that, bro, I do not want to risk our relationship between us, like, moving in with each other because, like, everybody lives differently, bro. It's
Yeah.
just really interesting. When it comes to roommates, everybody lives differently. And if you don't like the other person's way of living, dude, you're already fucked. Because, bro, you got at least, even it might be in fucking month 2, and you realize, like, yo, these guys suck. But
Yeah.
you're stuck for another 9-10 months with them and shit like that, you know? And luckily, I don't got that with y'all. But with the other roommates, I figure, like, bro, these motherfuckers they've never cleaned. And you just, like,
It's a little
notice
things.
a lot of little things that add up to one big ass problem,
Yeah.
you know? Like, it's just a whole bunch of shit. And then it ruins your relationship with them. Like, you know, our last
Yeah.
roommates, I don't have a good relationship with them no more. It's like that. With their families. So it's like, oh, like,
I mean, I'd be getting anxious because, like, you know, like.
yeah, you do.
I left the dishes dirty. I was like, I'll clean the whole kitchen,
The whole house.
the whole kitchen
I
the
know.
next day.
I feel that same thing too, bro. I hate to be like a fucking pig, you know. I hate that
Yeah.
other people have this kind of like a vision of me that's kind of like oh, he's a dirty motherfucker. I don't want to be that guy.
But
Like,
I do
no.
understand, like, it was a long day. I was tired,
yeah,
and I
bro.
can't get to it, which has happened like a couple times on
Yeah,
either
yeah.
side. But it's not like I'm gonna be like,
But there's a difference. There's a
Yeah.
difference. You notice a difference whenever some people actually start fucking. They're just naturally fucking pigs, bro. They're just
Yeah.
naturally like dirty as fuck. They just fucking like naturally just suck and shit.
yeah. And a lot of people try to instigate it as well, because I mean, I was talking with like my aunt and stuff like that, and she was just like, well, you know what they said about roommates, like it could just be insufferable. And I'm just like, I mean, they're cool, like they're there, they
Yeah.
don't really like barge into my room or anything, you know. They really are just chill. Like it's just a shared living space, that's it.
And it's important to find people that are on your same vibe too, but that's one thing we me and Haley were wanting to find people that are the same vibe, because if you like to party, if you like to have friends over on the weekends and shit, some people don't like that. Some people like to sleep in on the weekends. Some people want their quiet time. So if you bring in all your friends and shit, y'all over here fucking making noise and shit, drinking and
Yeah.
all that, and then some people are upstairs sleeping, there's gonna be a problem, bro.
Yeah.
Luckily, we don't have that either. We
Luckily,
all
I
on the
just
same
never-
vibe. This man Luis, I haven't seen him in like 3 days, bro. This man have been outside.
He's been booked
bro.
and busy too,
No
bro. Like
cap,
he be
shout out
having
to
his
him.
own thing to do.
Yeah.
And like he's very respectful too. Like when he wanted friends over, he's like, "Is that okay with y'all?" And it's like, "Yeah, it's like
really cool.
it's your house
Communication is
too."
everything. Yeah.
You know, it was
That's
nice.
one thing that you had that problem with. You had to ask us for every single little thing when you first moved in. You're
I
like, is
get
it
it.
cool for this? Is it cool for this? I'm like, bro, you live here too, bro.
I
Trust me.
didn't
This
want to
is
be
your
like I
house.
didn't want to infringe. You know, what
I
I mean?
know,
Be
I
like,
know, I know.
now that we're sharing this, what's yours is mine, what's mine is yours. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It was just kind of like, damn, like I need to get my shit, which was very hard and very helpful in getting my shit together. Cause like, you know, I'm not a great cook, and I don't cook that often. So I did have to ask a lot of help from you guys. Be like, hey, like I asked you like, how the
How
fuck
do you
do I
make
cook rice?
Yeah, I taught her how to make rice, bro. That's one of my biggest accomplishments. How to
And
make
or
rice.
like when Haley's like around, I'm just like, Haley, how the fuck am I gonna cook? Like I think she was helping me cook fish, and my dumbass had it too high. I'm not used to cooking on a gas stove. And then she's like, we gotta check this. She cuts it after I've been cooking it for 5 minutes. And she, like, the Gordon Ramsay voice, it's fucking raw. And then I'm fucking dying. It's just like she helps me a lot. And yeah, I mean, we've been getting to the more, you know, like girlier side of things and stuff like that. Like she trusts me, I trust her. And it's been going really well. Like I wouldn't really say like any notes, anything like that. I just like I feel like if you find people, it could be the most randomest people ever.
And dude, I've heard like fucking just horror stories of other people having like, you know, roommates that fail to pay up and shit.
Oh
like,
yeah.
not reliable, and like fuck all the like, you know, being dirty and all that shit. Like that I think scares me more than anything. Like people just not being like, you know, paying up and shit.
Yeah, or like just not being accountable.
Yeah, that's scary, but I think that's one of the biggest things that like you can't really not judge. You can't
Can't
anticipate
control
that.
it,
Anticipate
yeah.
like, oh, is somebody gonna actually like have the money and shit like that? I don't know,
Yeah. I'm very I mean, I try to be very precise with my money, but I make sure every time it rolls around, I'm just like, guys, don't worry, I got my fair share. I think it was like the first or second month, I was buying wheels and tires, and I was like, damn, I'm gonna take a hit, and y'all both looked at me with a side eye, and you were just like, how much of a hit? And I was like, no, don't worry.
All right, if you were still listening to this, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers.
Woo, kiss that like button, please.
That's what I'm saying. Turn the notification bell on. 5-star on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And we're fucking out.
Love you guys.
I like men.